Town of Prescott Valley, regular council meeting, August 8th, 2019, call to order. I'd like to invite Pastor Bill Smith on down for the invocation.
Let's bow our heads together as we pray. Heavenly Father, first off, we thank you. We thank you for your abundant blessings that we enjoy. We thank you for family, friends, and community. We thank you for the freedom of governance by the people and for the people, for which so many have fought and sacrificed. Most of all, we thank you for your love and the boundless grace that you demonstrate toward us every day. We ask you for guidance as we fulfill our callings. You tell us in your word to obey the governing authorities, since you have established them to promote justice and peace. Therefore, I pray for Mayor Palguda, Vice Mayor Nye, and all of the members of the town council and those city officials that make Prescott Valley a great place to work and live. I pray that you grant this assembled council wisdom to govern, a sense of the true needs of Prescott Valley, a keen thirst for justice and righteousness, confidence in doing what is good and right, the ability to work together in harmony even in disagreement, personal peace in their lives and joy in their work. I pray for the agenda set before them today. Please give each council member guidance and assurance of what would please you and what would benefit the people of Prescott Valley. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Thank you, sir. Normally, Congressman, we would invite you down for the pledge, but not tonight. We have a few gentlemen are going to trump you. So, Coach Martin.
Oh.
All right, boys, lead us off in the pledge. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, boys. Clerk, will you please call roll?
Mayor Palguda.
Present.
Vice Mayor Nye.
Here.
Councilmember Anderson.
Here.
Councilmember Grossman.
Still here.
Councilmember Schumacher.
Present.
And Councilmember Packard.
Present.
We have a quorum, Mayor.
Thank you, ma'am. We're going to start off with proclamations. The first one up will be Patriot Week.
Get the whole team up there.
Healing Fields of Northern Arizona, Patriot Week, September the 6th through the 13th, 2019. Whereas from the tragedy of September 11th, 2001, a new spirit has arisen, a stronger sense of family, community, brotherhood, and patriotism. And we have come together as Americans. And whereas America is fully committed to ensuring our freedoms remain unfettered and sovereign for all generations, now and forever. And whereas we wish to honor and remember all of those who lost their lives and who have demonstrated the ultimate sacrifice for their country. And whereas we wish to honor and pay tribute to the men, women, and families who were affected in our own town, as well as those who worked so diligently to help our people recover. And whereas commencing September 6, 2019, with the placement of the flags of the Prescott Valley Healing Fields of Northern Arizona, and with the commemoration of the tragic events of September 11, 2001, we join the entire nation in the recognition of Patriot Day, September 11, 2019, to remember and honor the invisible spirit of America and its heroes. Whereas this commemoration should be conducted each September 11th throughout the land to include the promotion of global peace and goodwill, the advancement of patriotism and love of country, and the remembrance of those innocent victims who died September the 11th as heroes, one and all. Now, therefore, I, Cal Palguda, Mayor of the town of Prescott Valley, do hereby proclaim September the 6th through the 13th, 2019, as Patriot Week.
we in Prescott Valley will not forget. And I'd like to thank now District 5 Supervisor Mary Mallory for bringing this to our community. I'd like to thank her for letting me be the chair of this event, and I'd like to introduce the team that without them it couldn't be done. Molly Horine is our volunteer chair. Captain Jeremiah King is like my number one right-hand person for the Patriot Week, the Patriot Run. Setting up the flags, which is September 6th at 7 a.m., taking them down September 13th at 7 a.m., and we could use all of your help. And of course, without our wonderful Heidi Foster, we'd have no PR. So thank you all for supporting this great, wonderful event. Thank you.
I'll just make it real quick. This is a big undertaking to raise all the 3,000 flags and then to in an orderly fashion, take them all down, leave them up for the week, and have it be a place where people can come out and remember, reflect, and get to know some of the folks that died on 9/11. So I just wanted to take the opportunity to thank the town of Prescott Valley for the support, thank Mary for starting the tradition of the Prescott Valley Healing Field. I want to thank Prescott Valley PD for all the help that you guys give us, Public Works and Parks and Rec for the help that they give us for the events that take place throughout the week, and just want to say thanks to the community and the citizens for all the support that you give the fire department, the police department, and just, if you have an available morning on September 6th, come on out and help at 7 o'clock in the morning. Help us put the flags up, and then on the 13th, help us take them down. That'd be great. It really is a great experience, and it's a family experience as well. So come on out. Thank you.
Moving on. Now it's time for Congressman to come on up. Interim Chief Edelstein. This will be in recognition of Detective Ryan Spriggs.
I think Ryan needs to come down as well, as much as he probably doesn't want to be down here in front of everyone. First of all, Mayor and Council, I'd like to take just a moment to thank the Congressman for coming. It means a lot for us to have you here, second year in a row, recognizing our people for the great work that they do, so thank you. Detective Ryan Spriggs has served the Prescott Valley Police Department with distinction for over 5 years. He began his career as a recruit in NARDA Class 35. After graduating from the academy and completing his initial field training, Ryan and his field training officer responded to a domestic violence call, which turned deadly when the suspect pointed a shotgun at officers and was subsequently shot and killed. Ryan's actions throughout the incident were exemplary, and he received the Rookie of the Year award for 2014. Ryan served 2 years in the Patrol Division and developed a reputation for being a team player, highly motivated, reliable, proactive, and having an unquenchable thirst for knowledge. He exhibited a prowess in the area of narcotics investigations, and when a position in the Partners Against Narcotics Trafficking opened up, he applied and was selected. Over the next 3 years, while assigned to PANT, Detective Spriggs took on many complex cases. He executed hundreds of warrants, seized countless numbers of illicit drugs and weapons, and took hundreds of career criminals off the streets. In 2018, Ryan coordinated the takedown of a drug syndicate involving 11 subjects who were manufacturing, transporting, distributing, and using illicit drugs in Yavapai County and surrounding areas. Ryan's work with local, state, and federal law enforcement agencies from numerous jurisdictions became known as Operation Hot Rail. It resulted in the seizure of vast quantities of methamphetamine, heroin, cocaine, marijuana, firearms, stolen property, vehicles, and illicit currency. Pretty much everything we go after. So all of that stuff was used to facilitate the drug trafficking organization, and Ryan's work was incredible in that case. In addition to the drug interdiction and enforcement, Ryan also spent much of last year raising community awareness of illicit drugs and their danger to society. He gave presentations at Embry-Riddle, Yavapai College, Prescott Valley Police Citizens Academy, the Northern Arizona Regional Training Academy, MATForce Overdose Fatality Review Board, and various other locations. In November 2018, Ryan was selected for assignment to the Criminal Investigations Section, where he is currently doing an incredible job solving fraud and property crimes as well as others. Ryan is married to Tori, and they have 2 daughters, Addison and Camden. Detective Spriggs.
Thank you, Chief, for giving that introduction and follow through. You know, too few times do we acknowledge the great work that the police department actually do. Every day they show up to work, never knowing if they're going to return home. So this is something that we would like to say thank you from the bottom of our heart, from a grateful nation, from a grateful state, and a grateful community. We want to give a commendation of excellence to Detective Ryan Spriggs. Thank you very, very much.
Don't do it, Ryan.
All right, moving on. This will be recognition of Prescott Valley Little League District champions. Coaches, if you would please come up here first. Right now we have Coach Jeremy Martin, Devin Bayard, and Barry Wallace. Coach, you want to start us off a little bit, or?
Sure, yeah.
Tell the crowd a little bit about it.
First off, thanks for having us here. I know the boys really appreciate it. And first off, I'd like to thank all the parents to these 12 young boys. They endured a lot of sacrifice, each of the parents. There was we went through our normal season of Little League, and then when they got selected to All-Stars, they were the top group of 12 boys for the 11-year-olds, and each and every day these boys went out and worked incredibly hard. The parents had them there. I had all of our practices early and ready to go for our 2-hour practices that turned into 4-hour practices because the boys never wanted to stop. I thank you for that, parents. I know it was challenging at times getting them out of there and getting them home. But the boys, they did a wonderful job. We were heavy underdogs in the district tournament here and all throughout practice. Coach Wallace talked about them being resilient, and by the end of the tournament, we saw a ton of resiliency out of each of these boys. We had struggles along the way, and by the time the tournament was over, each one of them, if they had a bad at bat or made an error or something like that, they didn't think twice about it. They went back to the dugout or back on the field and let it go behind them and moved on. They had to move up through the losers bracket since we lost to Prescott in the second game, but they battled back hard, and we had to win 2 nights in a row against our rival there, and in the end, they came out on top. They won in great fashion and represented Prescott Valley well.
Something that Coach didn't mention is Prescott Valley hasn't had a district champion in over 9 years. So this is a significant event, and it's exciting to see the boys here. Appreciate the coaches and for what you do to not only make them better players, but make them better young people. So that's huge, and I appreciate that. So thank you. And I know this isn't like getting invited to the White House. I get that for not being champions. but it's the second best thing, I think. So we'll start off. Hang on. That'll be the list.
All right, are you ready, guys? Well, here's obviously our team players, and we have Casey Bossman. Not here? We've got Donovan Bayer. Donovan, come on up if you're here. Don't be bashful. Everybody pop right up. Come on, Jericho, you're next. He's okay, we'll move on then. How about TJ Drape? There he is. And how Matic's Dunn? Mr. Dunn, pop up here. And next is Trevor Field. And Burley Johnson. Yes. And we have a Nick Martin next. Woo! And a Brody Miller. Get up here, Brody. Oh, and I love Coulter Smith. I've never met him. I get to meet him today. Anthony Venezuela, pop up here. And Connor, maybe we saved the best for last. This is Connor Wallace.
What do we need? Let's shift on all the shift down this way, guys. Just remember, we beat Prescott 2 times in a row. You want to make 2 rows?
Yeah, make 2 rows, guys.
No, we're okay. You okay?
You got it? Okay. Sometimes we have them here. You want 2 rows, Heidi? Okay.
Awesome job, guys. Good job. Good job. And now we welcome the Chamber of Commerce down here. Are they here?
That was removed, wasn't it?
Yes, it has.
Just kidding. We're not doing Chamber of Commerce. Now we move on to item 7, Certificate of Appreciation and Retirement for Prescott Valley Police Department, Mike Williams, for 20 years of service. Mike, come on down. Chief, come on down.
Mayor and Council, thank you for this opportunity to recognize Officer Mike Williams for both 20 years with the Prescott Valley Police Department, which is where he started, and to honor his retirement. This is a special privilege for me. Mike and I go back a ways. I was his field training officer. There's a lot of stories that I can tell, but I probably won't go into detail on many of them. But what I can...
Thank you, Chief.
A lot I probably shouldn't. Mike and I, we were together for several weeks during field training, but something that I want to say about Mike that not a lot of us can say is that he started a unit at the Prescott Valley Police Department. He started it. He's responsible for getting it going. It's been sustained to today. And that unit started out as a family violence unit. It evolved eventually into an SVU. And there are many, many victims in our jurisdiction who have been very well served because of your efforts in that specific area. So before I start reading the specifics, I want to acknowledge that. This one's not printed big enough for me, so I need the glasses, which Mike borrowed earlier without my knowledge. Mike started his law enforcement career in August of 1999 and was a proud graduate of our local Northern Arizona Regional Training Academy Police Academy Class Number 7 under the outstanding leadership of Joe Capelli. And Joe, you are here and you deserve to be acknowledged. Thank you. Mike's completed his 20 years of public service as a first responder, all here at the Prescott Valley Police Department. He's held a wide variety of positions and assignments, including field training officer, master police officer, corporal, criminal investigation section detective, family violence unit manager, coordinator, and sergeant. But what Mike is most proud of are his accomplishments and dedicated work in the area of domestic violence, which is where he found his passion in law enforcement. Early on in his career, Mike recognized and saw the need for a highly trained and dedicated specialized unit to handle the high-frequency, dangerous, and very volatile nature of domestic violence incidents in our community. In 2008, as a result of Mike's work on a federally funded Violence Against Women's grant, the Prescott Valley Police Department was awarded over $100,000 through a Stop Violence grant that enabled us to start the first ever 100% and fully dedicated family violence unit in all of Northern Arizona, which Mike was assigned to manage and coordinate for the next several years until he was promoted. In 2015, as a result of 6 years of outstanding and dedicated work in domestic violence cases, to include bringing heightened awareness and education to the forefront on the seriousness of domestic violence and how it affects everyone in our community, our family violence unit was recognized by the Arizona State Attorney General's Office, Attorney General Mark Brnovich, who issued our family violence unit the 2015 statewide award in outstanding service in the area of domestic violence to the thousands of citizens it has served. Achieving this prestigious award has been our unit's highest honor and recognition to this date. In addition, another highlight and an area that Mike enjoyed during his career was his 10-year span as the domestic violence instructor at our police academy from 2004 through 2014. Some other areas that Mike was proud of during his career was his collaborative work with community stakeholders on both the Yavapai County Coordinated Community Response Team and the Yavapai County Domestic Violence Danger and Lethality Case Review Board, which was mandated by the Arizona State Coalition Against Domestic Violence, sponsored by the AG's office. In closing, Mike would like to personally dedicate his law enforcement career to his wonderful family, his dear mother Carla, his devoted father Bill, his always supportive brother Tony, all of Mike's precious children, Logan, Curtis, Margaret, and Carly, and his loving niece, Katie, and nephews, Nick and Sean, all whom, without their dedicated and loving support over these past years, Mike's career would surely not have been possible. Mike would also like to say a personal and special thank you to the town of Prescott Valley and all its many citizens and his personal friends, especially Joe Capelli, who have both appreciated and supported Mike throughout his career, as this has truly meant the world to him. Great job, Mike. Congratulations.
Thank you, Chief. I appreciate it. The town has changed a lot, obviously, over the 20 years. When I first started, there was the populations were a lot smaller, Prescott and Prescott Valley, and there was dual agency testing. When you tested for a police officer in this area, it was joint Prescott and Prescott Valley, and I didn't want to put all my eggs in one basket. I needed a job. I had a young family. I needed a job, so I marked the box to be considered for both Prescott or Prescott Valley, whichever job came up first, quite frankly. And I am blessed, and it was fate would have it.
Prescott Valley chose me and needed somebody first before Prescott, and it's been a wonderful place to raise to have my career here and to raise my family, and it's just been wonderful. The family, my faith, it's been a roller coaster ride over the 20 years, for sure, lots of ups and downs, but my faith, family, and friends have for sure brought me to this endpoint, the 20 years, and there's many wonderful friends and family out here today. So thank you very much, Mayor and Council. I just wanted to thank you for your support, friendship. Laura Lee, you've meant the world to me through domestic violence. Take Back the Night, you've meant the world. Thank you for your support. Thank you, Chief.
So there's a tradition in law enforcement that when somebody retires, that we create a shadow box for them. And thanks to our volunteer coordinator, Dave Kybers, for putting this together from Mike. Plaque presented to Officer Mike Williams for all your years of service and dedication to the Prescott Valley Police Department and the town of Prescott Valley, 1999 through 2019. I'll set it here. And last but not least, actually, no, not last, from the police department, your retired badge.
This is not nearly as cool as all the other stuff you got. But nonetheless, this is in honor of your service, August 16th, 1999 to August 31st, 2019. As you retire, we honor you for your 20 years of public service. The mayor, town council, and staff commend you for your many years of dedication to the citizens of Prescott Valley and wish you success as you begin your next great adventure. Congratulations on your retirement. Sure. How do you want them set up? Come on, do the center. What was that? Its most important thing, man, is it says retired on it.
Oh, you bum, Mike. Good job.
Councilman Grossman, you want to start us off?
Yeah, retirement ceremonies are always difficult because you really want to keep the experience, but you're glad that he's able to make it to retirement. 20 years, that's a great accomplishment. The fact that he was able to start the domestic violence and unit and maintain it, you'll be hearing from me later on something related to that. But I think that's a great accomplishment for this community. And the fact that we have received all kinds of awards because of what Mike Williams started with us. It's just an awesome accomplishment. Good luck on your retirement. I've been retired 10 years, so hopefully you have as good a retirement as I've been having and continue. So congratulations and good luck for your future, wherever it takes you.
Mike, I want to thank you for your service to Prescott Valley, and it's been honorable service and welcome service, and you've been dedicated, as are all of our other police officers, and we couldn't possibly have the safe town that we have without officers like you. So thank you very much, Mike.
And although I didn't get to know you too well, being the newest on the council, I appreciate everything that you've done for our whole community and making this a safe and wonderful place to live. And thank you for your 20 years of dedicated service for one of the hardest jobs ever. So now let the fun begin.
Well, thank you for your service again. I've been through a couple of retirements, so quick as you get through with your world cruise with your family, come back here. We need you as a volunteer. Thank you and congratulations.
This is harder than going to work, isn't it?
Mike, thank you for your humbling remarks about me. But what I want to share with you, we met because of domestic violence. And there was something good that came out of that. We worked together, and Mike made the most gigantic difference in the families, in the safety, in making sure that they were taken care of, that they had somewhere safe, that they had someone they could trust, someone they could talk to. And you have such a talent in that arena. And I'll bet you use it in all the rest of your life. And I, too, want to thank you for your service. He's the first officer I met. He's the first officer I got acquainted with. So I'm not real happy about having to say goodbye.
Not much more can be said about Mike. We were just talking earlier, Mike's badge number is 46. My badge number is 45. We've known each other over 20 years. Mike, you've had the front seat to the best show on earth for the last 20 years. You've earned your retirement. Good luck in the future.
Well done, Mike.
Moving on, this is going to be a certificate of appreciation for Mark Lusson for 5 years of service. Now we have Miss Katie here.
That's guy.
Keep going. That's good. Well, 5 years ago, Mark was able to escape the heat down in the valley and come join our ranks here at the town of Prescott Valley after working for the city of Phoenix. And we have been so fortunate to have him here, and all the improvements that he has made and his vision for continual improvement has been remarkable to see. He has been such a big part of completing major changes. In fact,
Can you see your baby picture?
But over the years, Mark has done many things with his career. He has started the IVR process to where utility customers can pay via the phone. He's also worked on translating applications into Spanish, so some of our Spanish-speaking residents have an easier time getting water service. The top right picture also shows the new customer accounts lobby, and it was Mark's vision to change that and make it a more welcoming place to where customers could come in and pay their water bills. In addition, he deals with a lot of stress in his job because there's often people that aren't happy with certain regulations and other things. So he does an excellent job really handling that and keeping his staff positive and giving them the encouragement that they need to have smiles on their faces for the next customer that walks in. And that is just an amazing just explanation of his abilities, and we are very fortunate to have him here at the town, and I look forward to seeing what he accomplishes over the next 5 years. And some of those positive things, as you can see, he's dressed in costume in a few of those. And one was Halloween, but another was his support of a United Way event. And he's very involved in the town and the community. And he has his family here as well tonight, who might want to come up and join us up here. Natalie, Bella.
You know, that's a comment on the pure generosity of women.
Do you want me to get this? Or... All right. So this is the Certificate of Appreciation, Mark, for 5 years of your dedicated service to the town of Prescott Valley. With that.
As most of you might know, I'm very much an introvert and don't really talk a lot. I just want to say thank you for everyone behind me. I've had immense support over the last 5 years. All my colleagues and peers sitting down, you guys have played an instrumental role in me. Looking forward to coming to work every day, even though all of you are on the 4th floor. That used to be on the 2nd floor. But I couldn't do my job if it wasn't for my team and former team members who I get a lot of compliments about how good that operation is and how it's improved over the last several years. But I always give the credit to my employees and former employees and my director and former director that I wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for them and how well they do their jobs. So they make me look good. And obviously thanks to my wonderfully understanding and beautiful wife and my little mini-me. But thank you very much.
Okay, I want to call to your attention the dichotomy, and Mike got out here without one of his gifts. The dichotomy of a 20-year servant and a 5-year servant. And it flew by, right? It really has. You see, they start off excited, and they give us extraordinary service. And I won't be here, but I want there to be a 20-year one for you. And that's it.
You'll come to it, though, right?
Is this yours or mine? I know it stings, Jason.
But I don't know what happened.
All right, we're moving on to item 8, council comments. Councilman Grossman, will you start it off?
Sure. I have 3 basic announcements. This past week, we did the greeting of the kids on the first day of school. I know some of my fellow council members. I know Mayor Palguda was there. While I was at Coyote Springs Elementary School, I was having a discussion with the nurse there, and she asked me to make this announcement on her behalf. Coyote Springs Elementary School is looking for volunteers for hearing and vision health screening. No experience is necessary. They will be trained by Nurse Tina Hash. If you need more information, call Tina at 928-759-4310. Again, that's the nurse at Coyote Springs Elementary School. If you haven't remembered the number, it's 759-4310. In the past, they've been doing it with students. They'd rather get a few adults to help out with that. Okay, next announcement is tickets are still available for the event called Here's Looking at You, Kid. It's the 5th annual fundraiser for the Yavapai Family Advocacy Center at the Prescott Resort and Conference Center. Takes place a week from Saturday, August 17th, from 5 to 9. Tickets are $60 per person. If you wish to purchase tickets, it's yfac.org, yfac.org. If anybody here would like one, I have reminders and the information on here. Again, we heard earlier about Mike Williams starting the domestic violence. Yavapai Family Advocacy Center works hand in hand with our police department for domestic violence and sexual assault and rape kits. YFAC is the only place in Yavapai County that's allowed to do a sexual assault and rape kit. Not even the hospitals are allowed to do it. You need a nurse with a special certification. So it's a great cause, and the money goes to basically supporting what they do. If anybody has any questions later, I'll be more than happy to answer them for you. And the last one is save the date. Saturday, October 12th, 2019, the Prescott Valley Police Foundation will be having their, I think it's 11th or 12th murder mystery dinner. It's always a fun event. It's a great event, and I don't have prices. I don't have what the name of the play is, but just save the date because it sells out pretty fast, and if you want to go, if you guys anybody that's ever been there, it's really a good time. So that's it for now.
Vice Mayor?
I just want to do a public thank you to our Humboldt School District for inviting us to go greet the children. I happen to be at Liberty Mutual and Mountain Valley, and the smiles on those faces of those children when they thought, who is this weird lady? But they smiled back at me, and there were the shy ones, and I made a point of trying to let them know how excited we were for them. So thank you, Dan Streeter, for inviting us.
Councilwoman Schumacher?
I just wanted to say the other night we had National Night Out with quite a few different neighborhoods. I believe there were 11 different neighborhoods that were represented. And we had the opportunity to make the rounds with our policemen and our firemen and the council members as well. And it was a great gathering of a lot of different people from a lot of different neighborhoods. And as we made the rounds, we got to meet future policemen and future firemen. And it was just a great gathering. So I just wanted to say thank you to all those who did come out and to maybe plan for next year's event by hosting a neighborhood in your own area. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Nothing else. We'll move on to item 9, consent agenda. All matters listed under consent agenda are considered routine by the town council and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items. If discussion is desired, that item will be removed from the consent agenda and will be considered separately for discussion and possible action. Council, we've all had a chance to review the items. Any items we wish to remove for a later time? If not, can I have a motion?
I'll make a motion. Motion to approve the consent agenda as written.
I'll make a second.
Clerk, please call the vote.
That passes unanimously, Mayor.
Thank you, ma'am. Moving on to item 10, second reading of ordinance number 866, approving zoning map change ZMC 19-006. Clerk, will you please read the ordinance?
Ordinance number 866. An ordinance of the Mayor and Common Council of the Town of Prescott Valley, a municipal corporation of Arizona, amending the town zoning map ZMC 19-006 to change the zoning classification of an approximate 1/2 acre property located at the northeast corner of Luce Drive and Katy Circle, east from C1-3 Commercial Neighborhood Services zoning to RS3 Residential and Services zoning, and providing that this ordinance shall be effective 30 days after its passage and approval according to law.
Thank you, Clerk. Shall this ordinance pass?
That passes unanimously, Mayor.
Thank you, ma'am. Moving on to item 11, new business. Consideration of approving the intergovernmental agreement with Yavapai County for roadway improvement to Coyote Springs Road. Sir?
Mayor, Council, good evening. The county is about to begin a pavement overlay project on Coyote Springs Road north of the town line, and an opportunity has presented itself to partner with them to continue the improvements south to 89A. So this exhibit here just briefly shows the scope of the project, which would be to widen a portion of Coyote Springs Road, also a 3-inch pavement overlay on the existing pavement that's out there. We'd also be removing the old cattle guard that's in desperate need of repair and relocating a new one to a more efficient location. We're also coordinating with the post office. They'd like to upgrade and expand their mailbox area, and so we're coordinating with them and providing an area for them to do that, and that project will be separate in their responsibility. This is a partnering IGA with Yavapai County. It's a 50-50 cost share. You have an engineer's estimate there. It's just under $280,000. The town will be managing the project. The IGA is in line with other IGAs that you've had before you recently. Most recent, the Glassford Hill Road additional lane improvements between Highway 89A and Tuscany North, which will also partner with Yavapai County to complete. And also Viewpoint North, where we're going to add an additional lane there between Pronghorn Ranch Parkway and 89A, also a partnering program project with the county. So this would be the third one. And Supervisor Mallory is here with us. She's had an opportunity to visit all the sites. She's excited. I know that she'll be working with her fellow supervisors and county staff here in the following days to see that this IGA is approved. I believe it goes before the board on August 21st. And what we would like to do is package the 3 partnering projects all together. And our goal is to have them out to bid the end of this month. Have them before you again, all 3 projects, the Glassford, the Viewpoint, and the Coyote. Have them before you again in October to approve the award of construction. Start construction in November, and then have all 3 projects complete February, March timeframe. And with that, that's pretty much it.
Thank you, sir. Any questions? Can I have a motion, please?
Make a motion. Motion to approve the intergovernmental agreement with Yavapai County for a widening of a portion of Coyote Springs Road within the town limits by electronic vote.
I'll second.
Clerk, with a motion and a second, can you please call the vote?
That passes unanimously, Mayor.
Thank you, ma'am. Item B, consideration of accepting the 100 Club of Arizona Safety Enhancement Stipend Grant Award in the amount of $6,720.
Mayor,
Clerk?
that was already approved on the consent agenda. So
We'll skip item B. Now we'll invite Mr. Parker up. Consideration of authorizing the mayor, or in his absence, the vice mayor, to sign resolution number 2102, adopting and approving a subdivision agreement and a final development plan plat, FDP 18-002 for Jasper Phase 1.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. You're considering a revised final plat or final development plan for the project currently known as Jasper. For those not familiar with the project, the zoning for the project was established and approved in 2014 by ordinance, and the project was then known as Glassford Heights. As it's been refined over time and as they've worked through the detail of subdivision review and construction, they've brought forward a couple of amendments to the approved final development plan. Those amendments regard additional easements or modification of easements to accommodate public utilities, as well as retaining the roundabout, tops of the roundabout in private ownership so they can utilize them for signage and landscaping purposes. This project's been in the works for, as I mentioned, 5 years. The Department of Water Resources just last month approved the first water assurance for the project, which is a process approved by the state of Arizona. Notably, in this case, it was utilizing effluent credits. It's the first time that effluent credits have been utilized for an assured water supply statement. As part of your approval tonight, you're also approving a subdivision agreement. That's a standard process which sets forth the means by which financial assurances have been placed or construction has been completed for public improvements necessary to record the subdivision plat. Mr. Giese is here, would assist me in responding to any questions you may have about this technical submittal. And with that, I'd close and respond to your questions, Mayor.
Go ahead.
You know what? I don't have any questions, but I would like Mr. Giese to come up and give us the flavor of the design of Jasper. Just today at lunch, I had somebody asking me about Jasper, and I couldn't answer all their questions. So now you can educate me. Maybe I can answer the questions next time.
I'll do my best. Lots of confusion about Jasper because, in essence, we built the first phase at risk. It took a long time to get to the effluent credit, the water that the town owns. But as Richard mentioned, we were successful. We closed that deal approximately a month ago. And that includes all of the water for all of Jasper. That would be a contractual right to that. We haven't been able to market because we don't have a final plat. I need the final plat in order to apply for the public report so that legally I can market the subdivision. So I'm going to tell you that the main question I get is, what's the price point going to be? And I have to say, well, I don't know. I'm going to tell you that by October 1, hopefully before then, but realistically October 1, we should have the public report approved by Arizona Department of Real Estate, and then we can actively market it without getting in trouble. As it relates to, we do get in trouble once in a while, but we try to stay away from the big stuff. As it relates to kind of the flavor or the style, our goal at Jasper has been to raise the bar. We see an opportunity in the town of Prescott Valley as it has grown to create a well-finished subdivision at a reasonable price, and that's our overriding goal or vision. Next thing that you guys will see out of us, in fact, your staff has it presently, is the plans for our clubhouse. We're hopeful that that's a pretty detailed project, but we're hopeful that we can be permitted here October-ish. We will post financial assurance in our public report to be able to represent it. That's an important piece. And then we get into kind of the holiday season. I'm going to tell you that if we don't have it permitted and under construction by the middle of November, probably it's a middle of January start on the clubhouse is what will happen. We're very excited about it. Some might call it over the top. But again, it's a large project. It has big scale. And as a result of that, we're making a significant financial bet because we think that A, the market is here, and B, we have, it's just kind of painful, frankly, up front. You spend a lot of money up front to set the table, and then hopefully things go well and you don't get nasty things like recessions that you have to deal with. But we obviously will, and we'll be prepared properly. Am I helping?
Tell us about planned open space. That's one of the questions I couldn't answer today, and I don't even know if you know that yet. But people are very interested in that.
Sure. So when we get into open space, we could spend quite a bit of time talking about it, and it's a topic that I get quite a bit in my career, my life around central Yavapai County. Jasper conforms with your land development code. Specifically, in my mind, when we talk about natural open space, land that won't be developed, when The property actually goes approximately halfway up Glassford Hill. So it gets high, it gets unbuildable. And so when we look at, it looks very small when you have a project this big, but the far southwest corner of Jasper, and it's been a while, and Parker was just making fun of me since it was 2014 when we were approved. And I can't read the conceptual map from here, but there's open space that fits with your code. That open space is going to grow because there's land that just can't get developed. It's too steep. I'm not avoiding your question, but we haven't determined it yet because that area specifically is in phase 3. In addition, then we get into open space as it would relate to trail connectivity to the Iron King Trail. So there will be multiple points of connectivity from within Jasper where trails will connect to the Iron King Trail. Along those lines, what we're planning for is a trailhead. We will be attracting the public to Jasper because it's a mile or two closer than presently where folks can park, and you kind of start getting into the most pretty part of your hike or your bike or your run on the Iron King Trail. And so we're actually the topography is a challenge where that trailhead's located, and we've been working through that with our engineering team. I'm going to tell you that our plan would be when we start grading in phase 2, which we have a phase 2 grading permit presently, we would incorporate, I'm going to call it phase 1 of the trailhead to give folks a place to park. Then you have to start thinking about things like bathrooms and other things that go on. But we'll have internal connectivity, and then we get into parks. So there's a requirement in your code for public parks. And so we have to live up to that requirement over the course of the development and make some decisions as to where we're going to put that. In phase 1, we don't have a park and we don't have a trailhead. The focus has been get to the clubhouse. We're kind of working through it in a phased approach and based on how we're prioritizing our needs to market it successfully and sell it.
Very good.
That was helpful. Thank you. And we invite you back when you have all the answers.
I always tell people I can never duck the public process, so I'll be back again and again and again and again. Anyone else have questions while I'm here?
Mr. Giese,
yes, sir.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
You've got the floor, Mayor.
Mr. Giese, there's rumors out there that you are a very good builder, and you are also a very good Little League coach.
Oh, he had to go there, didn't he?
So with that being said, it was no coincidence that we timed both your presence here along with Little League, because Mr. Giese was the losing coach on Prescott. So I just want to say, sir, you were...
Mr. Mayor, he's a guest. Be kind.
So
thank you.
I welcome. Thank you for sitting through that. I know it stung. I know you're going to be there again next year, battling it back. So
I'll tell you this: I was a losing head coach. We lost 13-12. We lost 9-8. We had the lead 8-5 going in the last inning in the last game, and our young guys got a little ice on their wings and got nervous, and that was the, obviously the big lesson that we'll take forward. But Jeremy, Barry, very, very classy guys. Had an excellent ball team. They conducted themselves very well, whether they lost or won. And even though we lost, it was enjoyable. We had great crowds, and it was what rivalry games are all about, frankly.
Absolutely. And Jeremy is a good friend of mine, and he spoke the same of you. He said you were a very classy coach, and it was very fun to play against you.
I'm still pissed, though. I got to be.
I'm sure that was a sleepless night on your end.
Or 7. I mean, you think the business is important. The Little League is really important, right?
I'm sure it was. So I appreciate it. Thank you, sir. And I have no further questions for you.
But with that score, isn't that the games you'll remember more than some of the others?
It was very tight, very competitive. Yes, it was what memories are made of. And, on my side, we can't wait to get back after him again next year.
I had heard that you had already booked your hotel room
No,
that's not true? No?
That's not true.
Okay. Again, thank you, sir. And with no further questions, can we get a motion?
Thank you.
Good job, Jason.
Okay, I'll make a motion. Motion to authorize the mayor in his absence, the vice mayor, to sign resolution number 2102, approving revised final development plan plat FDP 18-002 for Jasper Phase 1 by electronic vote.
I'll second.
Clerk, please call the vote.
It passes unanimously, Mayor.
Thank you, ma'am. Moving on to item 12, comments from the public. Do we have comments tonight? We'll start with ladies first. Miss Lorraine?
Come on up.
Nope, you're fine, ma'am.
You know, greetings, common councilman, and I'm glad that I did get a chance to finally meet the mayor because the town people were wearing me out about, have you met the new mayor? I walked after going to Diane's office all the way over to see the new mayor at Fry's. So, welcome. I'm not new, I'm old, you know. And I walk around the town. Walking in the highway and the hedges, you get a chance to meet and you really get a chance to know who's who in Prescott Valley. But in times like this, I just want to offer up a prayer. I'm on Facebook, I'm on Periscope, I'm all over everywhere. The only place that I'm not on is in North Korea. South Korea I am. And I did tell my viewers today at my Common Council meeting, I want to offer up a prayer for all those that have lost their loved ones in times like these. I'm sending out condolences to all the family members. I, too, have been a victim of the death of my one and only child. But nevertheless, God kept me, and I know that He will keep them and sustain them in times like these that they're going through. That was it. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Next. Sir, welcome.
Thank you for having me. I'm the commander, Jose Rodriguez from Post 10227. Some of you know me. Know that I speak my mind, but I did not realize what my mouth got me into trouble. Thank you, Larry, for taking my call the other day. What we'd like to do, I brought paperwork here for you all to review. We, the members of VFW Post 10227, need you, our city council and mayor, to consider these requests for the safety of your citizens and our customers. But it's not just our customers. The more I talk to people, the bowling alley, the Elks, the Moose, the businesses down on 2nd Street, they all came to me, so I'm the voice of a number of people. And Marty, you know I can be a little boisterous. So there's been too many close calls on 2nd Street coming out of the swap meet, the veterinary hospital there, and Prescott East. They have a yield sign there. Most of the people don't yield. Also, going up 2nd Street, they have the right-of-way, but then again, the people off of Prescott East has the right-of-way. There needs to be either one stop sign, 2 stop signs, or make it a 3-way stop. And with this new car wash that's coming in there, it's going to get worse. Like the other day when I was talking to Steve at the Elks, we saw traffic backed up from 69, the light on Prescott East, halfway to the nursery. And the second part of this would be to consider a left-hand turn signal for the Prescott East, because with this car wash and where the entrances and exits are going to be, it's going to be a real mess. And I did not realize what I talked to people, and they brought it to my attention, so I'm here for a number of people. FedEx was also involved in this because their trucks go out that way. So we would like for you all to consider what needs to be done in that area. Someone came to me and said, this is going to cost the city a lot of money. I said, this is probably true, but understand, if someone gets killed at 69 there, it's going to cost them a lot more money. So just look into it. That's all we're asking. And then I am asking, Larry and I talked about this. I went out there, the customers and people that go down to Fane Park, there's an area, the road is 22 foot wide, okay? Where the old Fane Park sign, or the Fane Park sign is at, where the old gate used to be, it's only 17 feet wide there. And it's 18 feet, and then it goes back to 22 feet. We need you to consider widening that road because the combat vets are on motorcycles, and they've been almost run into the ditch. Larry and I talked about putting a stripe down the lane. It's not even 10 feet on either side, so we need that area. It's about 40 feet long. That needs to be widened to 22 feet so the customers that go down to Fane Park, the people that come to our Friday night dinners, and for the Valley of the Lights on Christmas time, so there's enough movement so cars are not stopped to wait for the other one to pass. And in that consideration, I talked to Parks and Recreation about moving the Fane Park sign down to the new gate location to help widen the road. And they said I had to come here, so here I am. I mean, I'm not trying to push anything. I just want you to consider this because it's not just our customers or my people. It's the people that go down to Fane Park and our citizens. And I will leave this with you all. And I'll come back next month because I left signatures at the bowling alley, at FedEx, at Elks, at the Moose, at the VFW, of all the concerned citizens. And we're not trying to push it on you guys. We just want you to consider it and let us know what you might do. Okay?
Thank you, sir. And, sounds like you already spoke to Mr. Tarkowski, and I'm sure he'll be sharing that information with staff. And as you mentioned, with the new car wash and change, things sometimes evolve. So I'm confident that Mr. Tarkowski will be at least looking into that and at least come up with a good plan. So I appreciate your time, sir, coming out here.
Yeah. Just to comment on that, as far as the timing of the signal light and a dedicated left-hand turn arrow, those will all be in cooperation with ADOT. That's their signal light on 69.
Thank you. Is there the next person who'd like comment? All right, with that being said, we'll move on to item 13, adjournment. Can I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Clerk, please call the vote.
That's unanimous to adjourn, Mayor.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks, everyone, for coming out. Good night.